Hello. Welcome to My Time TV. This is community TV with Adaire, where I speak to people in the community who are doing amazing things to add value to the lives of people around them. Now, this could be anything from meditation, a yoga class, learning to cook, reading tarot cards, healing, physical fitness, gardening, whatever. Did I say yoga? Could be yoga. Whatever you're interested in, it's going to be covered here. So what I'd like you to do is join me and my special guests as we chat about information and ideas that help you live a fuller, more productive and happier life. So today we are chatting with, I've got some notes here and I keep sliding them through and then I'm losing where I'm at. I'm just trying a different format. I need my teleprompter to go. But anyway, today we are chatting with Hilary Cook. Hilary is an experienced and qualified counselor, life coach and hypnotherapist, and her passion is to make a difference in people's lives so that they can become the best possible version of themselves and realize their dreams. Hilary came from a teaching and school counselling background before she started her private practice, and that is actually located in Dernancourt in South Australia, which is just down the road from me. She's married to Stephen and has 3 adult children, so she understands all too well the intricacies of relationships, the diversity of characters in the family, and their different needs. What I'm going to do is I've just had some other stuff here, but I'm not going to say that now. I'm just going to bring Hilary into the broadcast and I will say hello. Hilary, how are you?
Hello. Hi there. How are you there?
How are you going?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
Awesome stuff. Now, Hilary, I sort of fumbled over that a little bit. I'm trying, normally I have a different program where you're in the lobby, you're in the green room where all the special guests sit. And I sort of was trying to read, I need a teleprompter because every time I moved my mouse, I'd skip about 3 lines. So anyway, that was fun. This is live TV and it is as it comes. So if we do stuff like that, it's not perfect, which also I think makes us a little bit more perhaps relatable because, if we were professional journos, well, we still love the bloopers that they do. Hilary, I just want to let you know that we do have people watching. We've got a couple of people on. If you are here and would like to have a shout out have a shout out to say hi. Tell us who you are and where you're from because we love to have interaction. Yeah. Hilary is going to share a little bit about herself and what she does to help people, but we would love to, if you have any questions at all as Hilary goes on and we have the conversation, please feel free to pop them in the comments. If you want to join us, what you can see is there is a link, and there's a link down here. It says join us in the broadcast. If you want, if you are on your mobile phone, you won't be able to click the link. That requires a connection to, you can actually say, please send me the link and I can send you a link in a message in your message inbox. Takes a little bit of fancy pants ninja stuff behind the scenes, but we get there. So I can send you a link and you can join us in the broadcast. Or if you are on your desktop or laptop PC, you need to be on Google Chrome to be able to join us. So, Hilary, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be doing the amazing things that you're doing right now to help people to be the best version of themselves that they can be?
Well, I started out work as a teacher, which I absolutely loved, but I was in a field that was sort of not going anywhere very fast. I was teaching a language, a modern European language, and there came the time when European language is no longer popular in schools. They wanted to teach Japanese and Asian languages, which makes sense in the region that we're living in. So I went and I decided that I wanted to do something to still stay in teaching in school. So I got into a counselling degree, which I did over 3 or 4 years, and became a school counsellor, which I absolutely adored. I was that for about 11 years. And then I decided that it was actually time now to get into my own practice. And in the meantime, I had also done some other training in life coaching and hypnotherapy and neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP as we call it. So I felt that I've got the skills to help people and continue doing what I love doing, which is working with people. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Now we've got Urira here, or Edward in Maori language from New Zealand. Edward, if I pronounce your name and you tell me if it's right, Urira? What does that look like to you, Hilary? Is it Urira?
Yes, I think
Up
so.
here, Urira. If I would like to call you by your correct name, if possible. And I actually Urira has joined us for the last few shows, so welcome and thank you for coming back. He's from New Zealand, and I didn't know that, so thank you for joining us, and thank you for jumping out and introducing yourself. It's lovely to know that we've got people here from right across, or from across Australia and New Zealand. In fact, we can join in from anywhere around the world. So I'm curious, Hilary, it's not all that relevant, but what language were you teaching when you were in? I was
teaching French.
Oh,
one of the romantic languages, yes.
That's lovely. So, I have an auntie who teaches. Well, she did teach French when she was doing that. So you're fluent in French, obviously, and you have a accent that tells me you are from the UK.
I am.
I actually know that. So have you you practiced in the UK, and were you like a school counsellor in the UK, or did you do that in Australia? Or
no, I did most of my teaching over here, because I actually arrived over here when I started at Teachers College. So I taught for all the years over here. I had 1 year teaching in England, which was fun but very challenging. Then I came back here and continued back in the role I was in here. So yeah.
And was that all in South Australia, or have you been around?
All in South Australia. All in South Australia, yeah. Been in about
beautiful.
6 schools, yeah.
Okay, so that's really fascinating, because I think being a school counsellor is quite a challenging role, but it's also and I think it really does need to have people come into the role that have a huge heart and no ego.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
Because I think to really truly help the kids, and you would probably have seen all the gamut of children with different needs and special needs and different agendas, and from all walks of life, I can imagine. So that sort of led you to into what you're doing now. So if you want to share a little bit about what you are doing now too, because it's, you've got several qualifications. So I'm really interested in how that sort of plays out. So yeah, just share a bit what you do to help people now.
So I found some very nice rooms in Dernancourt, so I set myself up there, and no sooner had I set myself up there than I went and did some more training to become a trainer of NLP and hypnotherapy. So that, I think, gave me some more ideas about what I can do with myself. So I'm planning to set up some nice little courses, sort of short talk courses and workshops over the next few months. And I see people with all, as you would in a school situation as well, I see people with all sorts of different issues and challenges and things they want to achieve, because counselling and coaching and hypnotherapy really all work towards the same end, in that people want to change something in their lives, and it's about how they go about changing it. So I see people that are very depressed. I see people that want to mend a relationship. I see people that are anxious. I see people that want to create something new in their lives. They don't know how to go about it, or they're not confident enough to, and so on. So you could say it's just like a school counselling day. No 2 days are the same, because you see people with totally different reasons for seeing you, and their outcome hopefully is the same, in that they achieve what they want to achieve, or they overcome the thing they need to overcome, and they can move on with their lives. So And I think that my skill is that I'm a fantastic listener. I am very creative as well, and I help them to believe that the answer is as much in them as in what I can do with them. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
It's your superpower.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to, because I've done a bit of counselling myself, not huge amounts, but when I was at uni, we did some basic stuff and around psychology and looked at also I've done some stuff since in the last 5 years around positive psychology with Martin Seligman, and also done hypnotherapy and NLP. As you know, some other people may not know that I'm also a certified hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner that loves to help people, which is why I'll get people, lovely people like yourself here, and more people can meet you. But I think the thing for me was the difference between things like counselling and hypnotherapy or NLP psychology, or if I saw a psychologist, I used to work in emergency services, and we would go for regular grease and oil changes in our mind with the employee assistance program. We had a great, still there actually, who would do this type of debriefing after incidents. And like I was over on the West Coast after the fires, helping the community over there. But this was in 2005. But the whole thing around what that methodology or that approach is around. To me, the analogy is like if you've got a backpack on with the psychology approach, it is it's like a psychologist might help you, or a counsellor might help you unpack. Whoops, hang on, I just lost my earbud there. Might help you unpack or unzip the backpack and have a look at what's inside. So if all your issues are in the backpack, it might rearrange them a little bit and take a few of them out. But the backpack's still there.
Yeah.
For me, with hypnotherapy, and I could be absolutely wrong about this, and I'm more than happy to hear how it is for you and your experience, because you've done both quite deeply, so you would know. The hypnotherapy and NLP is actually, I believe, perhaps a process that helps you take the backpack off completely.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they complement each other, and I have to be honest and say I tend to use a lot of my NLP and hypnosis stuff with my counselling as well, because I think it completes the process.
Okay, so, beautiful. And because I'm, like I said, haven't had that extensive experience in the counselling and psychology field, that I've just been curious about that, because and I think it's great that it does complete the process, or you can integrate the tools to pick. So you've got Absolutely. A suite of tools in your toolbox, so depending on what the person is presenting or what they're going to resonate with best. And I know where in my practice where there were some people who just think timeline transformation therapy just wouldn't resonate with it. Yeah. Wouldn't cut it. So you just don't use that tool in that toolbox for that person. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to say here is Adaire. Okay, so Ero. Let's see. Thank you for that, Ero. That is brilliant. I love that, and I love that you keep joining us. And if you have any questions for Hilary, please just pop them into the chat. We're more than happy if you want to jump in and have a chat with us. Perhaps not in the Maori language because we don't have any Maoris here to translate, but you'd be more than welcome to jump in and to have a conversation with us, because this is what live broadcasting is all about. It's about connecting with each other and connecting with people from right around the world in a way that we can add value and help each other in our lives, you know, to know that we're not alone and that there is support and help out there. Now, you did say that what you do to help people, you do counselling, and you said there was a series of things that you listed off. It was things like getting more confidence or getting their life back on track. And
that's right. Yes.
What do you do for, because I think that one of the things that's come up, and it's come up in my family, I've had it in my own life. Thankfully, I've overcome it to a greater degree. But things like anxiety and depression, it seems to be something that's afflicting almost the whole of humanity these days. And it pains me to see people in pain. So is there a way that, or is that something, do you have, is there ways that you can help people, or what would be the process for that?
Well, I like to keep it fairly simple. So first of all, I let people just tell me all about it, and then we work out things that they like to do. So it could be that they have a suite of different things that they love to do, like they like to read, they like to go for walks and so on. So if they're feeling anxious, they're first of all aware that they're anxious, and they're aware also of the precursors of what causes it to come on. And then I say, okay, so before you get into that state where you're very, very anxious, we need to stop it in its tracks, so that you actually don't get to that point where you are, I can't cope, and it's got too far for you. So what we're trying to do is help them to develop strategies to recognize the triggers, the things around them that cause that anxiety to rise, and for them to actually feel that they have some tools in their toolbox to distract their mind, to make them feel comfortable, to reassure them, and so on. I also encourage things like mindfulness and doing some meditation and listening to relaxation tapes and that kind of thing, to get them into that practice of knowing there are activities that will really help them very quickly. Yeah,
that's lovely. So Dominic Fazio is saying hello. Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
How are you going? Where are you from, Dominic? We'd love to know where people are from that jump in and join us. That's awesome. So I know when I was at my lowest, and I guess I was going to say, unfortunately, I can relate to this, but I think it's actually fortunate that I can relate to it, because I think if I couldn't relate to it, then I probably wouldn't be sitting here now wanting, with this huge desire to help other people live lives that are fuller and more happy, and helping, you know, sort of them connect with people like you. So I think for me, and I know that there was one point in my life that I was so stuck in this pattern of being, I was I guess depressed. I was anxious. I actually had anxiety to the point where I passed out in the shopping centre because I couldn't cope with all the, you know, the crowds and the people in the shopping centre, and that freaked the hell out of me. But the depression and the anxiety, I was almost married to that.
Yes.
And that's hard to say, but and I think I was married to that for probably maybe 2 or 3 years longer than what I could have been, because some people take longer to learn lessons than others. Is there a way that you can help people? Because I know there's people close to me that I see that are in a similar space, and I would love to help them, but I feel helpless and I can't do anything, and I don't know whether it's until they choose to reach out, or like I can't go in there and sprinkle some, you know, like fairy dust on them and say.
Well, I think the first thing that they need to do is acknowledge it's a problem, because I guess that's probably what happened with you. You didn't really acknowledge it was a problem, so you kept going on and sort of almost getting involved with it. Really, it was yours, wasn't it? You owned it, and it gave you a bit of a gain in a way, because that was you, so it gave you a bit of an excuse not to do other things because of your anxiety and so on. And that's what I hear a lot with people. Oh, my anxiety won't let me do this, or I can't do that because of my anxiety. So they hang on to it because it creates a little bit of a a bit of a reason not to get involved and overdo things that take you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to do is say, okay, this has actually served me quite well for a while. And I did the same thing when a couple of years ago I was depressed because I could get into the job I wanted to. And so I allowed my bad back to really be the excuse not to go out and so on. And I actually said after a while, this has served me well.
Yes.
But it's not actually helping me now, because it's not helping me go to where I want to be now. So as soon as you start to say, I've got a problem, you can see that as that turning point. That's that little bit above the water of the iceberg that's saying, I want to get out. I don't want to stay under the water. I actually want to get out, and I want things to change. So talking to somebody is the first step. Just saying to someone, I need some help. Saying to your mum or a sister or a brother, I don't know what to do. Can you give me a hand? Can you tell me where I need to go and talk to someone to help me get through this anxiety, to move on from it, or the problem, whatever the problem is, to move on from it? Because the longer you hang on to it, the more underwater that iceberg's going, because you've got more and more stuff grabbing onto that anxiety, because it also attracts all the other nasty things that are magnetically going on to it, like, you know, I want to stay inside, I don't want to go out, I don't want to go and meet friends, I don't want to get involved with this new venture, and so on. So it actually gives you lots of reason to not do it. So, but as soon as you admit that you've got that little thing that's going on in your mind, or a big thing that's going on in your mind that's causing you to stop, then you talk to someone, you're moving yourself out of that situation. So the key is to admit to someone that you need some help, and to ask them to help you find some help for that if they can't do it for you.
I love what you're saying. I absolutely love it. And I think people need to hear this. I was going to say at the beginning of this broadcast that asking people to share this broadcast, because this is stuff that's really, really beneficial, and it's really going to help people if they just have even an understanding, or a small understanding of the process that we go through as humans. I know when you were talking about that, and I'm going back to the days when I was really at the darkest level, and I was so, like you said, I had gains from staying in that space, and but it wasn't serving me. But I actually felt I had to get into a place where I was vulnerable enough to be able to reach out. And I think that's a tough thing. So how do you click over? Is there any tips that you can give people if they're watching this and they're in that space where there might be something you say that might tip them over to go, it's okay to reach out? Because I felt so much shame and guilt about where I was at that I didn't feel like I could be vulnerable enough to be able to reach out and say, hey, I need some help, because I had all this conditioning that was not my fault, and it was not my conditioning. It was given to me as a gift, I guess, by society and my parents and their parents and how I grew up. I didn't actually realize that none of it was my fault. But until you realize that, you know, it's what can you say anything to someone if they're watching that's going to help them get the courage to reach out?
If you have that feeling that what's happening with you is not right, it's not right inside you, and it doesn't sit well, it's not a stupid question to say, I think I might need some help. Can I talk to you? Can I talk to a counsellor? Can I phone you and talk to you? Can we talk on Skype, or can we message or whatever? And I think there's so many lovely ways of connecting with people now on media. You can not only make a phone call or go face to face, you can go on Messenger, you can text message someone, and that's a start. You know, by starting that, you're starting to build a relationship with someone that might be able to give you that help, that can give you that help, and then the ball's rolling. So trust your instinct that things aren't right. You do know yourself. Everyone knows themselves. They do know inside them. You know how they say everyone's got the answer inside them. You do know that if you can't do that right, if you need a little bit of help, it's worth actually going to chat it over with someone. Because after all, if you've got a bit of a financial problem, or you want to create something financially and you can't do it on your own, you go to the bank manager to talk to them, don't you, to get some help. So why not go and find someone to talk to about something that's messing with your mind at the moment, to get yourself straight so you can go and do those things you really want to do. So it's a little bit about recognizing that, yes, your gut feeling that things aren't right is correct. So using all the different kind of media that you can use, reach out to someone. It is possible, and it is possible to do it in a safe and sharing way.
I think that's great, and I love the analogy of, if your finances aren't right, you go to the bank manager, or you go to a financial counsellor, or whatever you want to do, to the financial advisor to sort out your finances, because that's not your area of expertise. And I suppose, and the same, if you were buying a property, and you didn't know how to do that, you would go to a real estate agent, or selling a property. You wouldn't do it yourself. So if you can put it in that context, then it makes it another thing where of life, where you have perhaps something happening in that area of your life, then that area of your life deserves the same, if not more, attention than a financial advisor, or whoever else that you might get to speak to, like to have that expertise to help you on your path in whichever direction it is. So I think that's brilliant. So Hilary, you did say, and I know when we talked earlier, half an hour is an awful long time, but guess what?
Stuff, I can see that, yeah. Amazing.
Really quick. I'm actually thinking of extending the show to an hour, because I get into these wonderful conversations with amazing people, and then we have to wind it up really quickly. But so we will today. But what I want to do is ask if you have any specials for people, special offers, or if there's stuff that you would like, because you do, and I know you can just share with us how you do practice on, like, face-to-face or online and that type of thing. So, and if you do have any specials for us today. So
yeah, I do. So I have an offer for one person, the first person that connects with me via my Facebook Mindful Progress page, and the link is on the blurb that you sent out to people.
It's actually up here above the broadcast.
Okay. Right, lovely. Yeah. So the link's there. So if you connect with me on that, the first person that connects with me can have 2 sessions. One of those will be free with me before Christmas. That'll be fantastic. Okay. And the other special is that anyone that makes a booking and comes to see me for a session before Christmas will automatically get 25% off their sessions, any sessions up to Christmas Eve. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. So, yeah. That is fantastic. So that is face-to-face, or is that?
As it works out for you. I don't mind doing it over Skype if that works for you, or face-to-face if that suits you as well. Okay,
so you do practice right across the world. You've got clients in every corner of the globe, Skype, Zoom, however you do it, whatever's the best. And also, how can people best contact you?
So I've got a phone number, which is +61 for Australia. If you're in Australia, you can keep the 0 that follows. If you're not in Australia, take the 0 off. So it's 0438 637 449. Okay, so I just said that again. +61 for Australia.
So let me see. What was it?
0438 637 449.
449. Yes. So there we go. And if you are in Australia, this is the number.
That's right.
If you are outside of Australia, you just drop the 0 and add +61. Is that right?
That's the right.
Or go to Hilary's page. That again, the link is up here. It's called Mindful Progress, and send Hilary a message direct to her page inbox. So that is awesome. So Hilary, thank you so much for joining us. I'll just drop you out of the broadcast. Don't go anywhere. I'll talk to you after I've finished the broadcast, but I'll just wind it up. And thank you. I would like to thank you very much. That is brilliant. Thank you for your time and sharing your expertise.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
And that was Hilary Cook from Mindful Progress. You can contact Hilary by clicking the links above the broadcast here. You'll see that there's a link to her business page, a link to her website, and I think her phone number's up there as well. I'm actually not looking at it at the moment, but and she does have a special for the first person who contacts her after this broadcast will have your first session free. You can have 2 sessions and your first session is free, and for other people 25% off the normal session price until Christmas. So contact Hilary, find out how she can help you live a fuller, more happier and more satisfied life. I'm Adaire Palmer. This is Community TV with Adaire on mytimetv.live. I'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Australian Central Daylight Time. Bye for now.